All right, thank you for coming to the 2014-15 Co-Curricular meeting. We're going to get going right away because we have a number of people that are going to be talking about different things. First of all, we're going to bring Monica Davis. She's from the Door County Drug Coalition up here. She's going to be talking about alcohol and drugs and how it affects performance. And you know how I feel about that. Drugs and alcohol don't make you a better person, don't make you a better athlete. And I think a lot of times when I see people in our community who were very good people and very good athletes, and right now they're struggling, it all starts at the lower levels. We can't let people get started in this stuff that really impacts them their entire life. So here's Monica.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming out tonight. I know it's beautiful out. Hopefully this will go quick and you'll enjoy what I have to say. ESPN, Sports Science Association, and Sports Center teamed up to determine the top athletes of all time. Based on such attributes as speed, power, reaction time, the top 3 athletes were decided to be Bo Jackson, the greatest athlete of all time, having earned both Major League Baseball All-Star and NFL Pro Bowl honors in back-to-back years. Jackson's speed qualified him for the U.S. Olympic team for track and field, but he pursued football and baseball instead. At the 1986 NFL Combine, his time of 4.12 seconds in the 40 is still the fastest ever measured at any NFL Combine, and more than 1/10 of a second faster than the modern combined record of 4.24 set by the Titans running back Chris Johnson. Michael Jordan, a 3-sport athlete in high school, football, basketball, and baseball. The future Air Jordan was nicknamed the Rabbit for his ability to run the 40 in 4.3 seconds. As a high school pitcher, he once pitched 42 consecutive scoreless innings. Jordan scored in double digits in 1,108 out of 1,109 games. He played for the Chicago Bulls. Carl Lewis. After nearly 3 decades, Lewis still holds the world record for indoor long jump with a distance of 28 feet, 10.25 inches, nearly the width of a volleyball court. Even though he never played basketball or football in college, his speed, explosive leaping ability, and pure athleticism got Lewis drafted by the NBA and NFL teams, both in the same year. These athletes started out just like each and every one of you, with a passion for a sport or sports and your desire to do your best. Their desire drove them to be the best that they could become, and now they will forever be known to be one of the top 10 pro athletes. Let's look at what some of the attributes of being the best and best of the best include: speed, endurance, agility, and coordination. Those are just a few. So what do you need to cultivate those skills? Practice, eat right, hydrate, and rest. The proper kind of rest, not this kind of rest. You're thinking, when I rest and relax, it's a great time to unwind with a beer. My teammates do it, I've seen other athletes do it, and they seem to do okay. So why can't I? Other than, it's illegal, I could lose my sports scholarship and be suspended from games. Other than that, why shouldn't I? What does alcohol do anyway? Most of us, what we know of alcohol, can be summed up in this photo here. Alcohol, giving you the ambition to do anything while simultaneously taking away your capacity to do so. Skipping ahead on me here. What is alcohol really? Alcohol is a very simple molecule and is probably the most widely used drug in the world. When ingested, it is distributed to all the organs and fluids of the body, but it's in the brain that alcohol exerts most of its efforts. Like other general anesthetics, alcohol is a central nervous system depressant, which effects are proportional to its concentration in the blood. Alcohol has been described as a performance-impairing drug. Alcohol exerts an effect on most of these systems, including the central nervous system, muscle energy stores, and the cardiovascular system. Alcohol acts as a central nervous system depressant. How does alcohol affect the brain? First, it attacks the forebrain, affecting motor coordination and decision making. Second, alcohol knocks out the midbrain, and you lose control over your emotions and have an increased chance of blackout. Finally, alcohol affects the heart rate, body temperature, appetite, and consciousness. So what are alcohol's effects on the body? It impairs reaction time up to 12 hours after consumption, disturbs REM sleep time, reducing the body's recovery ability. It impairs the blood glucose systems for up to 36 hours. It dehydrates the body. And it decreases protein synthesis for muscle fiber repair. Sleep more, run faster. So sleep, REM, and alcohol. Even though alcohol is considered to have sedative properties, when you consume alcohol, it actually suppresses the REM, or vivid dream stage of sleep, and sends you straight into the deep sleep stage of the sleep cycle. REM sleep is the most critical phase of your sleep that allows your brain to reboot and to recover. Without it, your central nervous system is greatly fatigued upon wakening. As an athlete, you must remember that your brain controls every aspect of your physical performance, which includes every impulse to your muscles. So how does alcohol affect performance? Athletes that drink have a 50% increased chance of being injured. Becoming drunk or inebriated cancels out 14 days of training, so 2 weeks. The training hormones are diminished by 4 days following alcohol consumption. Alcohol consumption hinders muscle recovery. Reaction times are affected for 12 hours after drinking, and hangovers reduce athletic performance by 11.4%. What does this look like to you? This looks like slower running times, weakened pumping force to the heart, impaired temperature regulation, decreased jump height, decreased 200, 400 meter run performance, faster fatigue during high intensity exercise. The residual or day after effects of alcohol consumption, as some of you may already realize, can result in headaches, nausea, diarrhea, fatigue, dehydration, body aches, all of which diminish athletic performance. Moving on to prescription and illicit drugs. Prescription drugs include painkillers such as Vicodin, OxyContin, Tylenol with codeine. Depressants such as Klonopin, Valium, Xanax. Stimulants, Adderall, Concerta, Dexedrine, and Ritalin. Most of you have these in your cupboards. According to the antidrug.com, Wisconsin teens have used prescription drugs more than any illicit drugs except marijuana. Daily, 2,500 youth, ages 12 to 17, abuse pain relievers for the first time. 18.1% of high school students in Wisconsin reported taking prescription drugs without a doctor's prescription. Opiate drugs such as OxyContin, Percocet, and morphine all can be precursors to heroin. I've been asked specifically to talk a little bit about heroin. We will have more on this come the next school year for parents as well. Heroin comes from the opiates, the same family as the OxyContin and morphine. It's becoming an epidemic in the United States. We have 227 deaths in Wisconsin since in 2013. One this year already in Door County and one last year. It's a 300% increase in use in the last 2 years. And it reroutes the neuron pathways with immediate addiction or death, which it's been named death on the streets. So in other words, the rerouting of the neuron pathways is so strong that kids almost immediately become addicted, and they're seeing lots of overdoses. Heroin in the brain, it's an opiate and it depresses breathing, changes the neurochemical activity in the brain stem where the automatic body functions are controlled. Opiates can change the lymphatic system, which controls emotions, to increase feelings of pleasure. And opiates can block pain messages from being transmitted through the spinal cord from the body. A few of the other drugs that are out there, I guess these are called word doodles. You can see on there speed, opium, crack, methamphetamines, morphine, lots of different ones out there. There's too many of them to mention in the short 10 minutes that we have. But here's some quick pictures of different things to look for that are non-prescription drug or illicit drugs. Some of the signs and symptoms, behavior changes. Kids don't care attitude, so if you see your child who's actively involved in sports or doing very well in school, all of a sudden not caring, irritability, depression, anxious, weight gain or loss, insomnia, and agitation. So the choice is yours. Ask yourself, do you want to be one of the best of the best? Striving to be a Michael Jordan, or Carl Lewis, or Bo Johnson? Will you be the one to get that All Right scholarship? If those are your goals, and you know performance is directly related to practice, hydration, nutrition, and rest, and alcohol and drugs directly depress the nervous system and inhibit your performance, the best choice seems clear and simple to me, but the choice is yours. Thank you, and good luck in your season.
Parents, you do a terrific job with your kids, and we just want to make sure that you're informed on everything that is out there. So if you see the signs, you can get some help. All right, we're going to go on and just talk quickly here about the Booster Club, real quick. Find my stuff. All right, now the Sturgeon Bay Booster Club does many things here in the high school. It has helped fund all our uniforms since God knows when. Warm-ups, if we need any extra money for supplies for each sport, they put money into the baseball field. I don't know if they put any money into the soccer field, I was an AD at that time, but they do many different things, okay? And so that's why we have to go ahead and fundraise. And there's some different things that we'll be doing over the course of the summer. With fundraising and stuff like that. Just know that we'll have some cards that go along with Econo Foods, that if you buy $100, you get $10 off. Buy $50, you get $5 off. But also, what happens with that card on the back, just like many other cards, you can get discounts at Kohl's and Under Armour, different stores and stuff like that. We'll have those available for you. Also, the athletic department, you saw a very good-looking young man out there by the name of Bryce Hartle. He was selling golf tournament tickets. At the end of June, there will be a tournament of future LPGA golfers up in Escanaba at the Sweetwater Resort, or golf course, up at the casino in Escanaba, near Escanaba. $10 for 3 days to watch golf. Nothing bad with that. All $10 comes back to the athletic department here at Sturgeon Bay. Also, Booster Club will be doing some stuff with raffle with the boat that Door County Charities does. That's Jim Sarkis and his group. We'll be doing some stuff with that. All right. Now the Sturgeon Bay Way, you see it up here. Okay, all sports teams working together to ensure this is a success for all teams. We are not 15 different programs. We're one program with one goal, making our kids successful. That's all. That's why we got all of us. We have to help. We can't have just a select few people doing the work. A team parent for each athletic team to help coordinate activities with the coach of the Booster Club. Every varsity sport needs to have a representative on the Booster Club. It has to be a parent. Okay, this year it's just for that sports season. If a coach has a request, the coach doesn't have to go to the meeting then. They can just give the information to the parent and the parent can go ahead and help. But the biggest reason we need a parent representative is that if we need help in concessions or working during games and stuff like that, we have a parent who is directly linked to that team. So if there's a boys soccer game going on and we need football parents to help out in a concession stand, we have that football parent or parents call the football team parents. There's more of a connection there. Instead of, somebody calling them, not knowing who they are, no, I can't work, or this kind of stuff, that kind of stuff. Just understand, it's just a way that each program has a little personal contact within the booster club. And when they get a phone call, understand, we're trying to help all kids. When you're doing something for the booster club, you're actually helping out in a student athlete and an athletic program. You'll see the new uniforms, the warm-ups, training aids, whatever it may be. They've done a tremendous job through the years. This year, a new initiative is every varsity sport has got to lift twice a week. Every varsity sport. Okay? And for different sports, there's different types of lifting. Maybe they're just working on the core with medicine balls. Maybe they're working with flex bands. All right? Maybe they're, finding out, they show me a new routine that they need, but we need to become stronger. Why? Injury prevention. Just understand, as the season goes on, you become weaker. And that's when injuries happen. Slow and steady increase in strength over the course of the season, improved efficient strength areas, and it creates a more confident athlete. I think that's very important for you to understand that. Confidence breeds success. Now, just with that weight training, the coaches by July 1st have to get their information into me so I know exactly what they're doing. And I will be in that weight room, okay? Or up at the pool when they're doing their dry land workout and stuff like that. Each sport is different. We are not going to have Kaylee here lift 300 pounds. That's not the goal. You're not going to look like me, ladies. Thank God. You're not going to look like me by lifting. Eating a lot of pizza, yeah, but not by weightlifting. But just understand, we just need you to be better and more confident athletes. We do have a sheet over here, which we'll put on the tables before you leave, that we can go ahead and I'll tell you when weightlifting hours are available this year. Sportsmanship. Over the years, Sturgeon Bay has been pretty darn good. You really have, but we always strive to get better. You always hear, you can never get perfect, but you try to get to that point. All right, just 3 quick guidelines. Okay, cheer for your team, not against the other team. Very simple. And we'll do some things during the winter sports. We'll have some activities, some theme nights, okay, to help get people in the gym. And just cheer for your own team and the things they're doing. Okay? Do not call a player, coach, or official. Do not become a negative part of the game. Unfortunately, recently at a soccer game we had here for girls, another school's parent waited for our kids to come through the gate and called one of them for a cheap shot. But you know what? The person got a red card, got tossed from the game. She could not play the next game. They got a penalty kick and got to go. Everything was done within the rules, but that parent from that other school could not handle it. I really believe, play by the rules, everything will work out for you. And of course, appropriate language is to be used at all times. This year we're also going to have a captain's club. Sam Carter and Emily Sharner helped me put up these values we want all our captains to have. And this doesn't limit only these for our coaches. They can add to this if they want. But we got to develop leaders. And that's part of our job here at the school, is to develop leaders for our people for tomorrow. So our captains must be good communicators with coaches and players. One of the lifelong lessons we have here in school is for a player to talk to a coach. And I know it can be scary at sometimes. But you know what? We got to learn how to do that, because you got to talk to your boss someday. And that can be scary. But you got to communicate. And parents, please, I know, nothing's going to happen to your child. Our coaches don't retaliate. if a person has the skill, they're going to play, they're going to be a starter, or they're going to be, second leg of a relay, whatever it is. It's going to be based upon their talents. Okay? And so when somebody goes up to a coach and they go, well, why aren't I starting, coach? Well, number one, okay, you can't handle a basketball. We got to get the ball handling a little bit better. We got to do that. Number two, you got to understand our defensive system, so on and so forth. We got to be brutally honest with our kids so they know what to work on. You must have respect for themselves and others. Okay? Please, don't put yourself down, don't put other people down. When you're a captain, you got to show that proper respect. Somebody comes up with a question, don't say just suck it up. Try to find out what the answer is. Help that person. Because you know what? We're Sturgeon Bay. We want all kids to be successful. So you got to respect one another. No freshmen don't just carry all the equipment. It should be that way. Everybody should help out. There is no such thing as a right not to do something on the team. We're there to help each other become better. Become a responsible person. Kids have been great with this. Being on time to practice. Or if they can't be at practice, they got to go to class and take a test. They've been great with that. Our kids have been responsible. The only thing that I need to remind you of is this. Always look in the future, because once you're in high school freshman, you have a tournament season. And sometimes families want to go on vacations when actually there's a basketball regional. And they didn't understand that, well, we didn't know there's a tournament. Well, there is. Must be approachable. If you're going to be a captain, that means kids can feel relatively safe to come up and talk to you, where you're not going to yell at them or tell them to get off your back or anything along those lines. You must be able to talk and interact with these people. And finally, for captains, you must be confident, okay, that they can be a leader. Hey, seniors are mostly captains for a reason. They've been there, they've done it, they've seen it all. And you know what? The kids know exactly what every kid is doing on that team. They know, just like I knew in high school. Just like my sister knew in high school. Kids know what you're doing. All right? And the thing is, you can't be a confident leader if you're doing something you're not supposed to, because you're hiding. You're not being true. All right? So just be confident in a way, just knowing that you don't need things to make you more popular. You don't need to do things to make you a better athlete. Just be the best that you can be, whatever that is. All right? Not everybody's a starter. I can start here at Sturgeon Bay High School in basketball. Football, baseball, yes, but not basketball. What I have is on a darn good team. And that's what's important. It's a team. Okay? And once again, thanks to Sam and Emily for coming in and sharing that information with us. Okay? And the last informational thing here, I believe, is the Clipper Way. All our coaches, all our personnel are going to help people, help our students, okay, become familiar with the Clipper Way. Very simple. All right? We've got 15 different sports, and we all got to be on the same page. Coaches, athletes, parents, community. The Clipper Way is basically, number one, got to have courage to do the right thing at the right time. Courage could be as simple as this. Going up to a coach and saying, hey, you know what, coach? Mr. Test today gave us a tough physics class, or test. And I'm struggling. I don't think I did too well on it. Coach is going to understand you may not perform at a high level. That happens. But just do the best you can. Okay? You have to be leaders. Assist all teammates in becoming successful student athletes. Help each other become successful, and you'll become successful. Your team will be successful. You'll be surprised what we can do together. You got to have integrity. People must trust you. Okay? If Mr. Bubnick was a part of my football team, which you weren't Bubs, right? I can't remember. And he's sitting there and he's taking athletic tape and he's ripping the hair off my legs. I can't trust him, you know, because he's hurting me. He's hurting me. But the thing is, you gotta be able to trust, you know, the thing is, your actions are gonna do the talking. It's not your name, it's not your grade. Okay, it's your actions. You treat people the right way, your team is, all your team is gonna be successful. You gotta persevere. Play a sport for 4 years. You don't know, you know, success takes time. When I coach basketball, or any sport, varsity baseball, just know that you have a story you're writing about your high school career. The first chapter is your freshman year. A lot of experiences. Sophomore year, second chapter, third chapter, of course your junior, and then your fourth chapter should be your chapter where it talks about all your successes. Because if we do things right, you should be successful being part of a team, whatever that may be. Very simply, I gotta give credit to our Lady Clippers soccer players. They're going to sectionals on Thursday. They came together at the right time of year because they are doing the right things. They are doing the right things. Okay? And you can see, you know, a lot of those kids on that team have integrity. And they persevere. They play 4 years. Gotta have poise. Know the game plan and know your role. Okay? No opponent or fan will then stop you from being successful. Coach has a plan. You practice the plan. Stay with the plan. If you're unique talent, you know, within that plan, you can just blossom. If you're an average talent, well, you do what you can do. Not everybody is going to be a Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Be enthusiastic. Enthusiasm creates positive energy, and that's what you need to do to play. Pick each other up. Pick each other up. Somebody's down for whatever reason, all right, go in there, cheer somebody up, help them, okay, get that positive energy into them so they can perform at a high level. And finally, last thing, of course, is respect. Respect. Treat each other the way you want to get, the way you want to be treated. That's pretty simple. Okay? At this time, stand up for a second, stretch. Because I'm going to bring Lauren Mulder up here and talk about concussions real quick, and then we'll get into co-curriculars.
Hi everybody, like Mr. Boza said, my name is Lauren Mulder. I'm the athletic trainer here at Sturgeon Bay High School. I am employed by Ministry Door County Medical Center, who actually donates my services for free to the school. This is my 4th year here at Sturgeon Bay, this next year will be my 4th year here. My coverage is after school daily and also at all high school athletic events. Most of you know there's multiple events going on at one time, so bear with me if I'm not at, which happens a lot, if I'm not at the event where the injury happens. The coaches will get a hold of me and I will be over as soon as I can. Please feel free to contact me if you ever have any questions of what I've spoken to you or your child about their injury or anything else. My work cell phone number is, if you can or want to grab a pen, is 920-495-4177. 920-495-4177. Please bear with me, again, this is a work cell phone number. Sometimes I do not have it on me because of personal reasons, but I will get back to you that day or the next business day. One of the other things I'd like to talk about is Athletic Edge. Athletic Edge is a speed, agility, strength program that my coworkers at Ministry and I do at each of the 4 schools in the county. It runs 6 weeks. It's 3 times a week from 9 to 10, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's $70, And again, we work on speed, agility, strength. We work on plyometrics, vertical jump, sprinting, anything you can think of. We use parachutes, bungee cords, lots of stuff. It's fun. So if you'd like, there's brochures in the back if you want one. If there's none left, please come and see me. I have more. As Mr. Blizzle said, I am supposed to come up here and talk to you about concussions. Law went into effect in 2012, where it says that each school or program, whatever, is supposed to educate you on concussions, and you should have a packet of information that you can read later on. But basically, a concussion is a blow to the head, face, cheek, anything that transmits force to your brain, and basically your brain then sloshes around in the skull, and that causes injury just like any other injury that you play or that occurs during sports. Immediate symptoms can be headache, pressure in the head, balance problems or dizziness, nausea or vomiting, sensitivity to light and sound, don't feel right, feeling day or days, confusion, feeling slowed down. You can also have things like difficulty concentrating, difficulty remembering, and difficulty with sleeping. Those things can also happen later on. They may not be immediate. So I guess just pay attention to those symptoms if you get them. If you feel like those symptoms are coming on during activity, you should immediately cease activity and then be checked out by a medical provider. That may not be me because you're away. It could be the school's athletic trainer as well, or some other healthcare provider. Every concussion is different. Also, every athlete is different, so every concussion may be handled a little bit differently, but it will be geared toward you or your child's best interest. If a concussion goes untreated, it can have long-lasting effects, such as increased risk of repeated concussions, prolonged symptoms, decreased academic performance, and potentially permanent disability or even death, such as second impact syndrome. And what that is when an athlete gets hit for a second time with already having a concussion, the brain swells very fast, and if we're unable to relieve the pressure as fast as the swelling is coming. And that's what causes the damage. One of the things that Surgeon Bay has recognized and a lot of medical professionals have recognized as helping with treating and diagnosing concussions is the impact test. It's not the only thing that they can use, but it's a good objective tool. So what that means is every athlete at some point, it's usually every other year, will take the impact test baseline. Then if they are to receive a concussion during sports, they come back and see me and get evaluated, and if I believe they sustain a concussion, they will retake that impact test post-concussion. If I believe that your child has a concussion, they will be referred on to a physician where they are actually the ones who interpret the results. The physician will then give me recommendations as far as what they believe or how they think that this should be treated, and then we work together very closely to get your athlete to return to play. Some kids may need school modifications, some kids may need to be out of school for a little bit, some may not need anything and it goes really quick. So it's a gamut of how these things go. So bear with me. We do have specific impact test dates for the school. You should be getting a list of these dates in the Clipper Connection. Also in that there is a letter where it explains the test a little bit more and what it tests. So the sheet with the dates on should look like this. The next one is actually next Monday. So you won't get that before. So I wanted to make sure that you knew. All the tests will take place in the library. Usually they take place in room 199, which it says on your sheet, but they had to move me, just so you know. I think that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know after the talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Okay, getting into the co-curricular part of our meeting, just know with academics, just know, pass your classes. There's enough help out there where you can pass your classes. And you just need to understand this. You gotta do whatever is necessary to pass, within the rules, of course. Within the rules. There's enough safety that's here at Sturgeon Bay High School. There's enough people that will stay after school. There's people that will help you. You know, and please understand, there are some people that are gifted and maybe can read something once and understand it. And then there's some people who are average, might have to read it 7 to 21 times before they really know it. And then there's some people that maybe need more than 21 times to know it. Not everybody is good at everything. Just be the best you can be, whatever that might be. So with academics, just know the progress report, 4.5 weeks. If you are failing at that time, you got 1 week to make up your grade. Okay, Mr. Nickel will ask you to come into the office and get a slip saying that you're passing classes, all your classes, and then you need to give that to Mr. Nickel before you're eligible. If you're failing at the end of the quarter, then you're out for the 4.5 weeks. All right, if you need help, ask for help. And it's tough. Between middle school and high school, it's an entirely different ballgame. Make sure you ask for help when needed. Attendance at school, just understand that you need to be here at school for a full day to be able to participate in practice or in a game that day. Now, if you gotta go to the doctor, if you have a funeral to go to, something that is allowed in our school handbook, fine, just get it done ahead of time and the office will okay it. But you've got to be here. If you're sick, don't say I'm going to go home for an hour and then come back. That's not allowed. General conduct, just understand that, once again, be the best person you can be. School's a special place. There's no other place like it. That's why we can't hear the language. That's why we can't be harassing one another. That's why we can't do things to make other people not become successful. So just understand, anything that hurts another person in any way is not good conduct. We support each other here in Sturgeon Bay. We want everybody to be successful. Even if he doesn't have hair and he's a senior in high school, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how they look. Everybody's a good person. Everybody can help each other. Quickly going over your penalties, just know that if you're caught doing one of the things that you cannot do in the co-curricular agreement, which is drink, smoke, possess, or host parties, your penalty for category 1, first time is 25%. If it happens a second time, it's 50%. If it happens a third time, it's 1 full sports season. If it happens a fourth time, it's 1 calendar year. And of course, that also goes for competitive clubs, honorary positions. They have a little bit different penalty, but you can review the co-curricular code on that. Just want to go over what you're going to need to do to be eligible to play this fall at Sturgeon Bay High School or winter or spring. Just remember you have a $25 participation fee. If you are on free and reduced lunch, you do not have to pay that fee. You need to submit a physical or alternate year card, whichever one that you need this year. That's either freshmen, juniors, the majority of you need a physical. If you're sophomore or senior, alternate year cards. Physical card's green, alternate year card's yellow. Parent consent form, which means that if your child for some reason gets hurt and needs to go to the hospital, this parent consent form goes with that adult that's taken them to the hospital. Co-curricular responsibility agreements, WI parent athletic rules of eligibility, and your concussion fact sheet all need to be turned in. And please note, this year they changed the rule. You only need to do the concussion sheet once. And that's it. Now, Lauren, if they get a concussion over the year, what happens? Is she here?
Yeah, ask that question again?
Yeah, what happens if they have a concussion during football? Do they need to get they do another test and stuff like that, but they don't fill another form or anything
No,
like
they don't
that?
need to fill it.
Okay, good.
Once it's
Okay.
done at the beginning, you're good.
All right. Impact testing verification form will be in the office. And if you have any detentions or any paid fees, you gotta get those things in. Now, after I'm done talking here in about 1 minute, okay, we'll break off into these other areas. I believe cheerleading already met in the middle school commons. So unless, Coach Betcher, if you have anything else, they can go home, right? Okay, thank you. All right. Football will stay right here in the auditorium. They have a quick meeting. Volleyball's in the high school commons with Miss Judas, our new varsity volleyball coach. Girls swimming with Coach Bubnick will be in the high school library. Cross country, is Miss Lassay here?
Here you met, we're good.
You're good? Awesome, thank you. And boys soccer, is Coach Todd here? Guess we don't have a meeting. Okay, if Coach Todd's not here, but just go by the gym if you have anything. Thank you for listening today. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to give us a call.